Hello, welcome back. Friday Grizzly update for all the Grizzly friends. I don't care if you have a Grizzly. Your name could actually be Grizzly Adams and I would still think you're awesome. Grizzly Adams did have a beard. What has changed since the last time you heard my voice? The drawers and stuff, I mean, those were just put in because they'd never been put in. The machine is bolted, installed. You can see under here, that turned out pretty slick. That's a brake line, probably from Flea Bay or somewhere, and some 45s and a 90 that comes out of that bulkhead fitting. Then this little aluminum thing is just for fun. Hi, Bella. So here's the back of the machine. Been mostly working back here. This brace, and you can see the shock and stuff is hanging there. Yeah, this is interesting here. So in order to get some sort of counterweight or shock, whatever you want to call it, on there and not have the shock in the enclosure, requires a little bit of creativity, and so yeah, we'll see that here. So you can see here these guards. Let's go to the other side. So this is just Buna N, just sheet rubber, and these seals ride, you know, along this edge and enable you to have some sort of like working seal, yet still have the shock outside, because you can imagine that this moves with the head, so you can't have anything, you know, in the way there, because this would sort of you know, meat cleaver it off there, if you know what I mean. So it's interesting. And then the shock, you know, mounts down there once that's ready to be put on. And here's the coolant return. So yeah, this is PVC, and this is just a little clamp. So we'll go around to the other side and see what is feeding this. So here, it's continued, and for ease of removal, this is a coupling, and this coupling was slightly bored out on the lathe, and then machined the idea of it for an O-ring. So this thing just slips over the troughs, little stub sticking out there, and it makes it easily, you know, take apart a bowl, if that's a word. And then the trough on the front, I'll reposition. So you can see that trough is what catches from the two drain holes in the front, and this has some fall to it. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's probably like a 3/4 of an inch fall, maybe an inch. And then there's some rubber edging for shits. And then you can see there's one of the drain holes there. Got some filter stuff and whatnot to put over that when the time comes. But I think it's a pretty, simple little system. It's what I came up with. And then the bellows are on there, and you can see those are the front side. Those are the front side of like the seal carrier. So when the machine is down, like these, sort of travel with it. And always keep the sort of gaps flashed one upon the other. So yeah, I think as far as the head stuff goes, I'll get one more thing. Let me grab the cable chain. Sorry for the spastic video. A guy was asking me about how the cable chain goes on here, and this is that back strut I was talking about earlier. And so this mounts against here, and then this motor, you can see, you can imagine how that would go on the other end. So this is the movie bit, the other part is stationary. Got a stopper installed on the monitor keyboard setup. There's a magnet in there, and then dink. So it'll be pretty satisfying when the electronics like the monitor and keyboard go on there. Then it's really cracking. So yeah, I think that's about it, The next, waiting on some grease and stuff for the spindle, and that should arrive sometime early next week. So once that happens, all the stuff on the head can go on, because if I remember correctly from the mock-up, several mock-ups before, the drawbar has to go on, or there's an order in how things need to be assembled, and I think the drawbar cylinder has to go on before the motor. So yeah, gonna take the spindle apart and address a thing on that, make a video about that. It's the preload adjusting nut on the spindle. Chinese, man, just letting me down right at the end. This is interesting. Okay. Thank you for checking in and making sure I'm alive. And the Grizz is on in Grizzin'. So thumbs up if you like. Subscribe if you need more. Shoot me a comment. And we'll catch you next time. Thanks a bunch.